r/AskReddit. What was the weirdest thing someone asked you to do during sex? It was Halloween and some friends and I decided to cross-dress as Charlie's Angels. I ordered a vintage 70s tennis dress from eBay and bought a cheap wig. My girlfriend came over before the party and put makeup on me. After the party we went back to my apartment. She told me to stay dressed as a woman while we fooled around. I mentally shrugged and went with it. The next time she was over she requested that I put on the wig and tennis dress again. Not one to argue, I went with the flow. The next time she was over, she arrived with shopping bags, women's clothing in my size and a much better quality wig. I sensed things were getting out of hand. I didn't particularly like dressing up as a woman, but it seemed to really arouse her. She would look at me and her face would glaze over in a look of lust. Soon it evolved to the only way we'd have sex was when I was dressed as a woman. Things came to an end when I emerged from the bathroom one evening and she was sporting a robust strap-on dildo. I declined and she got very angry. After all that, I got called a prude. You made my day, man. And she was trying to make his whole week. I guess she pegged him as a different kind of person. That's a hell of a pun. I can't top that. In college, I slept with a girl I had been friends with for a while as sort of rebound after breaking up with my ex for cheating on me. In the middle of it she asks, how does it feel to know someone you loved and held at night was getting all this from someone else, with this sadistic grin on her face. Turns out she was saying this to get me mad because she wanted to be choked, slapped, gagged, etc. All she had to do was ask, instead of breaking down any dignity I had. Edit. Yes, I'm fine now for everyone asking. This was about 3 years ago. We were already having sex when she said this, and I couldn't keep going. After it was said, I had just began to get over my ex and this girl saying that brought it all back. I got up and left while she was trying to explain herself. She texted me the next day asking what was wrong and swore she never said any of that. Her friend, who was also a good friend of mine, had warned me long before that this girl was nuts, a compulsive liar, and would do things like see how many guys she could date at a time before they all found out. I dated an older woman when I was about 22. She was almost 30 and loved animals. She worked at a shelter, had a bunch of rescue animals, cats, dogs, fish, a bird, etc. She kept very good care of them all. Anyways, when we were getting frisky she was enjoying herself and started saying, who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Over and over again. I finally had to bite the bullet and say, I am. She of course then said, yes you are. To be fair, I was being a very good boy. Edit. Thanks for the shiny things, y'all are great. Another edit. I realized I've insulted a lot of 30-year-old women. I meant no disrespect lol. It was the first time that I had been with someone that wasn't the same age as me. I meant older as strictly older than I was. Not old, I'm sorry if I triggered anyone. Do you like fluffy tails and bunny ears? Me, hell yeah. Gets up, walks out of the bedroom, and comes back with an actual rabbit. Some of it rubbed off on me I think. I have 2 bunnies now. Edit. To clarify, I did not have sexual relations with that rabbit. Fart when you come. Not only I don't get how is that sexy in any way, shape or form, but how do you force yourself to fart? Not to mention the fear, if I try to do it, I will be the guy who shit himself while fucking. Edit. Well, this blew the fuck up. I read all the replies, but I can't respond to all. Thanks for the upvotes, and I laughed at most of the jokes. Surprised how many of you actually like to do this, and a huge thanks for the silver too. Maybe just make a fart sound with your mouth and she can't tell the difference. Once did this by accident, just finishing up some of the best sex of our relationship, still together now, and just as I'm blowing my load I blow the brown trumpet, like a really loud, stinky air biscuit the likes of which would be considered a WMD by the US government. She stopped, I stopped, we made eye contact and I couldn't speak, still inside her, still coming. And now surrounded by the smell of pure shit, we both burst out laughing and choking on it. Her words were, you fucking owe me. Few weeks later, ball slapping against her asshole, she lets rip, and the sensation against my balls just made me splurge. Not something I want to try again, but fun times. You could have deleted that comment at any point. Yet, you willingly posted anyway. I could have stopped reading at any point. Yet, here we are. I feel like there's something wrong with both of us. She didn't ask this, but while in college, I was friends with a Japanese international student who introduced me to this girl who he was friends with, also Japanese. Anyway, long story short, I had sex with her in my friend's bathroom at his studio apartment at some odd hour in the night. She screamed a bunch of things in Japanese. Later my friend, who was pretending to be asleep, told me that she was screaming no and don't rape me in Japanese. And no, I wasn't raping her, and she spoke great English. She was just acting out a rape fantasy on her side that she didn't let me in on. Edit. Alright, I should address this again, since I keep getting replies on this. I keep getting asked, wouldn't the friend come barging in as he would have believed it was rape? Here is my reply to another Redditor earlier to this question. No. Hence the reason I brought up that she spoke great English, the way we've all communicated throughout the night. If it was really rape, or if she really wanted it to stop, she would have told me in English. He knows just as well as I do that she is perfectly capable of speaking English. Hell, if she really wanted our friend to barge in and stop it all because for some reason she forgot how to speak English while in the act, she could have screamed, help friend, come forth and stop this rape in Japanese. Also, thank you for the silver kind stranger. Did you pixel at her privates for the genuine experience? Edit. Thanks for the silver anonymous champion. Edit 2.0. Wow and gold. Girl I dated had rape fantasies. It was odd, it escalated from her asking me to hold a knife to her throat to asking for me to hold a gun to her head. Not one to disappoint. I brought my small revolver. Unloaded obviously, and during us fucking, she took my hand with the gun and held it to her head. At that point, she noticed it was unloaded and said, what the fuck, why are you being such a pussy about this? Nope, 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 nope. I'm not going to jail. I went out with this girl who had a bit more than a blindfold fetish. She would keep it on long after 6, often to the next morning. Then she wanted to go on whole dates surreptitiously blindfolded, with blacked out sunglasses. Her whole personality would change when she was blindfolded, in kind of a nice way, extremely affectionate and very girly. To be honest, I liked blindfolded A's personality a lot better than regular A's. It was weird, but super cute. Eventually, she found a website that sold blacked out contact lenses you couldn't see through, so we could continue in public. We would go out on dates outside our usual circles, where people only knew her as my blind girlfriend. We broke up a while ago, but we still sometimes go out together as my blind friend. These bird box challenges are getting out of hand. I jokingly blew raspberries, the thing where you purse your lips and make a fart noise, like on a baby's belly to make them laugh, on my ex's clit at the beginning of what was supposed to mean normal cunnilingus. As I switched over to traditional pussy eating, she was laughing and said no, keep doing the other thing. So I brought her to orgasm with raspberries in record time for us, like 3 or 4 minutes. Probably would have been quicker if we both could stop laughing. She was really embarrassed about it for some reason and wouldn't let me ever do it again despite me trying a few times. Her being easily embarrassed was kinda common. Whenever I was pumping during intercourse and air would get trapped and make that suction farting noise. If I laughed even slightly, she'd start crying from humiliation and we'd have to stop having sex. And everyone knows the way to make something infinitely funnier is to demand no one laughs at it. Do not laugh at the silly farting noise. Edit. I wanted to add something important that many people are mentioning in the comments, which is that blowing air into the vagina is dangerous and can possibly cause an embolism, which is very bad and often fatal. Please don't kill your girlfriend/wife with a raspberry. Edit 2. I didn't make it clear in the previous edit, but simply buzzing your lips against a clit seems to be okay. It's directly blowing air into a vagina that can be dangerous. Dated a guy for a bit who had a mild cuckold fetish. Now, that wasn't the weird part. He asked me to talk dirty to him about wanting to fuck other guys, and in my book that's a reasonably tame ask, all things considered. No, the weird part is that almost inevitably he'd then use this as ammo in arguments, citing that I clearly did actually want to cheat on him because, yeah, no, I'd made up random fantasies about it when he had explicitly asked me to do so. It started as small joking comments and within a couple months escalated to full-blown meltdowns. I'd tell him that I wasn't going to indulge his kink anymore. If he was going to act like this about it, he'd apologize and say he wouldn't do it again. Lather, rinse, repeat. One night he got into a screaming, crying fit at me because I had invited him to get a drink with a male colleague of mine who wanted to meet then boyfriend because he was in a career colleague was considering pursuing, and in his mind that clearly meant I was going to sleep with said colleague later and was thus just trying to make him jealous by introducing them. Decided enough was enough and got the hell out of that mess. Edit, for the 11 billion people asking, no, I never did sleep with that colleague. He did, however, successfully move into the new field he was considering and seems very happy in it, and I helped teach his new girlfriend to ski a couple weeks ago.